Hi everyone, welcome back to the Wellbeing and Supernatural Journey, and sponsored by Divine Assets International. And this is a space, if you're new here, where we accomplish well-being, a journey of accomplishing the wholeness of a well-being, while at the same time understanding the depths of our spirit, our spiritual growth, and abilities. So let's get straight to it. Today you're wondering if you are conscious. Yay! Because according to scientists in the community of studying human consciousness, they say that if you have asked the question, am I conscious? Then yes, you are. Because that is the first step to being conscious and expanding your perspective on life and being aware in the body. What does conscious mean? Aware. The I is the self. So when you ask, am I conscious? You're talking about the self. And and when you say things like my brain, my body, my this, my that, then you are establishing your level of consciousness. Because you have an understanding, whether if you realize it or not, that you are not the brain or the body. You are the being inhabiting it within this human experience. So what does all that mean? Because you probably didn't even think of it that deep. You will now. But to understand being conscious, we must talk about consciousness, right? So first and foremost, let's talk about the debate. So scientists have been debating for many years on if consciousness is a thing, or if it is the brain that's just having a reaction to its environment, right? Making changes and doing things to react to its environment, which it does do. Or is it something that we are tapping into that is more, that is supernatural, that is beyond us in our sight, our 3D sight? And which I talk about in my book, this first chapter. We talk about consciousness. And I quote a few things from some scientists and people within the profession of studying human consciousness. And one thing that stood out to me is when we talk about consciousness, the easiest way to just kill off that debate is the fact that humans, once you are conscious and living within an aware conscious state, you're not just doing what your environment is doing. You literally have the choice if you want to go left when everybody goes right. You have the choice that when your environment is in survival mode, how you want to go about that. You have a choice to follow a trend or not. You have a choice, and you actually think it through, if you want to stay in a community when they said it's a pandemic or go somewhere else. All I'm saying is you're not just moving with your environment the way plants and animals do. If you did, then everybody would be predictable. Every last person on the planet would be predictable. Just like plants and animals and even computers. Because computers do as they're programmed, just like the brain. The brain is a supercomputer. And it will only do as it's programmed. The information and data that it was given. But sometimes don't we understand things that are beyond the data input? As far as the program that we came here with, or whatever we read or learned or experienced. We have, and of course, some of you know that we have data within our DNA that we can unlock as well. And that's a whole nother conversation. But all of that aside, we understand things that are beyond what the brain is doing. Even, I know some of you will say, oh, but there's things that we take in within our subconscious mind. Now, we don't realize that we take in every second, every minute, and the brain processes that data too. That's great. Even still, there are things that you understand, that you sense, that you just know, that has nothing to do with the brain. And that is why you can ask the question, am I conscious? because you have started your quest. You have started to really live once you ask that question, because now you're not living in the body, or what some call the not self. You are living as the being, utilizing the body. And one thing I love, if you're on this channel, you're hearing me talk a lot about astrology, human design, and things of that nature. Different elements that operate in the body, body types and stuff like that, because everyone is unique. While being the same, you are unique. Because consciousness, I'll elaborate on that, because consciousness makes us the same. Somebody didn't like that, because they're like, well, I'm conscious and I know this and I this and this is not like me. Da, 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 da. We're not talking about everything you're conscious of outside of the body. Your experiences, what you read, what somebody told you. We're not talking about that. We're talking about consciousness itself breathing through you. The collective consciousness is the only real consciousness. It is the divine breath. It is the omnipresent, infinite, intelligent property mixed with emotion and imagination that breathes and surges with life force energy around and through you all the time. That breath is God. It's the Holy Spirit. And you live in it, breathing all around you, surging within you and with every living thing, is God's expression of life. And as you breathe and as you exist, you are God living with that opportunity in that body at that time, creating different things to live through and breathe through all at once. Your different features, your hair types, your complexion, the day you were born, where the stars were aligned, how that affects your emotional and physical self and mindset, and how you understand life, where you were born, your parents, all of it is the divine breath living life with that code, with that mixture, within that piece of clay. That's what you are. And your avatar to have this experience is your avatar to have this experience. It's your suit. You have to look at it like a spacesuit. I remember I was having an experience with some sacred medicine one time. And one of the first things I realized when I walked outside is that we were already in outer space. How many of you have thought about that? How conscious we are of outer space already? I walked outside and realized I was in outer space. Because on another planet, if I walked outside, I would be in outer space. So if I was on another planet looking at Earth, that's outer space. The outer space, the inner space, the distance, whatever. As within, so without, as above, so below. You are one that is a part of the all, so we are all one. Let this sink in. Now, let's get more specific, because now I'm saying is God breathing through you and you God, and I'm not saying it's not a Jesus complex, it's not a God complex. What this conversation is about is the simple fact that you have the opportunity of an individual human experience because of the different frequencies that your body holds, that your environment created within you, and the differences between the different data inputs between your parents and you being bred, the body being bred, and that divine breath living within that body. So now it has an imprint within I have a word for it. I don't know, we're gonna call it supreme data system, okay? Because when the body dies, the energy lives on. You live on, and you have an energetic imprint, a data code that connects with the all, but can still be individualized. And that's the beauty of this experience and this opportunity of life in these forms. So pat yourself on the back And let's take this ride, because it's step one on just you answering the question, are you conscious? And the answer is yes. Because you have asked the question from within rather than without. You have asked the question from the viewpoint of the being and not the body. So yes, you have started your journey on being conscious of what and who you actually are. Peace and love. That's all for today.